Maybe this is the first lab class you've taken, or the first one that's required preparation for labs. Either way, I wanted to go over what's in your lab manual and briefly talk about the different sections. Your lab manual will have all the experiments that you'll be doing over the semester. In the lab manual, every experiment has the same sections. It has a purpose, theory, procedure, a pre-lab assignment, data section, results, and post-lab questions. When you turn to an experiment in the lab manual, you'll see the title, then the purpose, then the theory. The purpose section tells you what the main point of the lab is. The theory section, which is sometimes long, tells you the concepts behind the lab and how it relates to what we've been talking about in lecture. Depending on the experiment, the theory section will have the chemical equations for the reactions we'll see, or the mathematical equations for calculations we'll be doing. The theory section is really about why and how the experiment works. After the theory section is the procedure. This tells you the steps of what you should do so that you can collect the data that you'll need. The procedure is a lot like using a recipe to cook. Sometimes there's a few steps and sometimes there's many, but it's always a good idea to read it over before you start cooking so that you know you have what you need. The procedure's the same way, and if you have questions, you should always ask before you start. The next section is the pre-lab assignment. This can be a little different depending on which class you're in and the experiment. The pre-lab assignment is there to make sure you're ready for lab. The question should feel like review if you've read the theory and procedure sections. Your professor will let you know if you need to turn in the pre-lab assignment or if you're going to use it to take an online pre-lab quiz. If your class is doing the online pre-lab quizzes, the questions on the quiz will be the same or very, very similar to the ones that you have on the pre-lab assignment. So even if your class isn't turning in the pre-lab assignment, doing it will help you get an A on that pre-lab quiz. The next section is the data section. This is where you'll record measurements and observations that you make while performing the experiment. After you've collected your data, you can go on to the results section. The results or calculations section is where you use the data you collected to do a calculation or interpret the data to find a result. If you find yourself struggling with the results section, it might be good to look back over your theory section. It should have the equations you need and example calculations to help. The very last section is the post-lab questions. This section is different depending on the lab, but it's here to help you practice what you learned during the experiment. It could have calculations and short answer discussion questions. When you're turning in the lab, you should always include the data, results, and post-lab questions. Your lab manual and the sections of each experiment are designed to help you get ready for lab and to make the most of your lab time, so you can have a safe and fun lab experience.